Imagine a spiritual path that honors the universal truths in all religions, that sees we are all one. Imagine a movement that respects each person's right to choose their spiritual path. Imagine a spiritual movement that empowers and unites rather than divides. This is unity. For more than a century, unity has offered a positive, practical, and progressive approach to understanding and applying the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. Unity is non-dogmatic and inclusive. Are you a Christian with questions, or just spiritually seeking? Are you curious to explore the universal truths that Jesus embodied and taught, concepts that extend beyond traditional Christian theology? Learn how unity bridges Eastern and Western philosophy and how it can change your life. Experience God consciousness. Raise your awareness. Live more abundantly. We invite you to explore our network of churches and study centers and our world headquarters at Unity Village. Call or email anytime for prayer support.
Each and every person has inborn God-given powers. We can change our lives by learning to use these powers consciously and intentionally. The way we use or misuse these powers shapes our reality. Connect with your higher self. Connect with the divine.
Welcome to Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community, online and on demand. This is Reverend R. Ken saying today's affirmation of truth will be brought to you by Reverend Dr. Nick Angadi, followed by today's message of faith. Namaste.
This is an open letter to Black America from Unity Ministers. We love you, and we embrace our responsibility to eradicate racism. It is our divine appointment to stand with you.
To see you.
To hear you.
To listen.
To be in conversation with you.
To be with your anger without judgment.
To know your sacred worth.
To acknowledge my privilege.
To take responsibility.
To confront complacency.
To back my words with action. Palabras con acción.
To be accountable for effecting change in my community.
To support Black-owned businesses.
To be a bender of the arc of the moral universe that bends toward justice.
To demand the end of police brutality.
To use my voice and my vote to end systemic racism.
To hold you and our country in prayer.
To be a call to action.
To be a voice for justice.
To be a voice for unity.
Will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free, as I continue walking in this mystery. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am grateful every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am kinder every moment, every day, and I'm more loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
There is all so much that is upsetting during this current time. There is apparent upheavals. There is discord and dis-ease spreading about the world, in our neighborhoods, in some cases in our household. There appears to be a fractured government and a fractured people, and sometimes within families itself. I invite you now to put your hands over your heart and feel its warmth. Feel that fullness of life that is ever continuing, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what may appear in our particular lives. You are still vibrant. Feel the warmth, and know that that warmth is love. The great master teacher Jesus taught us that the kingdom of heaven is within. And at the very core of your being is the fullness of this truth, ever and ever doing its perfect work. Your heart is working perfectly, moving warmth and life throughout your body. You are breathing in life, releasing that which no longer works for you. It is in times like these that our faith is renewed. Master Teacher also told those after great miracles that their faith made it so. Turn within. Once again, recognize the warmth of your heart, and know there is something very special right there that you can trust, believe in, and indeed put all your faith right there. Because what created you also created the entire universe.
All the planets moving in perfect balance, harmony, and order, reflecting the same actions of the very atoms of your being. Put your faith in something greater, and that greater indwells within you. Trust and know this is the truth that sets you free. Your faith has made it so. And so it is.
More than enough in the land. You're always a
Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community. Thanks everyone watching today's celebration. We appreciate your support. Your financial support helps us sustain and grow this Beyond Walls ministry. UCS accepts your financial support online or by mail. You may use the Cash App, Unity Chicago South. You may select Unity of Chicago South from the Give Lifey app found on our website, www.unityocs.org. You can also mail donations to Unity of Chicago South. The mailing address is 1448 East 52nd Street Suite 132 Chicago, Illinois 60615. Continue watching this online space, donate your support and spread the word that Unity of Chicago South is Beyond Walls online. Health and wellness to each and every one of you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good day, because again, sometimes you are coming, joining us at, different times. I'm Reverend R. Ken. You're here with us at Unity of Chicago South Spiritual Community, and today, this book is the subject of our talk, is the principle that we're using. It's called Christ enthroned in man. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I want to remind you of a couple of things before we get started today. One, that if you're not aware, we do have a podcast where the members, the ministers of Unity of Chicago South discuss various topics, and we try to give a practical spin on some metaphysical or some, let's say, progressive thoughts, spiritual thoughts. And so if you get a chance, you might want to check us out. It's called Inner Quest. Inner Quest is the Inner Quest podcast. It's on several platforms, Anchor being one of them. We work to drop a different podcast each week, usually on a Thursday. And again, you can go to our website. There's a link over there. And if you're on our mailing list, you'll usually get a link every week. But again, that's InnerQuest. And again, you can find it on on Anchor. The other thing I want to remind you is that, visit our website. You saw, if you've, come to the very beginning and stay through the kind of introduction to our talk, it discusses links. It gives you a little blurb on various links. And sometimes the terminology that's used, you might want to look it up. And there's a link for the Revealing Word and Dynamics, a book called Dynamics over there, which can expound upon some of the thoughts that you hear on our talks and even with InnerQuest. So I want to make sure that you're aware that these avenues, these tools are available to you. And I want to remind you that there is an infinite source available to everyone. It's there for each who seek it, no matter their race, gender, or religion. Believe what you may, but know that the source of the universe is also the source of each of us. Therefore, the principle supporting the stars is the principle supporting and available to each of us. And as I declare this next statement, I will declare it in the first person, but I am declaring it for all. I am open and receptive to this divine living principle. Father, Mother God, I am grateful. This is my declaration. This is my truth. And as I accept it, so it becomes. All is well and well indeed. Today's poem is really a rather basic poem. It has some a simplistic rhyming pattern, but it has a very, very powerful ending, a very relevant ending. The author, the poet is Chris Schindler Jr., and the poem is called Faith. Faith is doing, faith demands. Faith is knowing, faith commands. Faith is endless, faith is all. Faith will save us from the fall. Faith is purpose, faith is wise. Faith deserves us, faith makes ties. Faith is mischief, faith is sure. Faith is this if we endure. Faith is surging, faith is light, faith is purging, faith all bright. Faith is healing, faith within, faith is cleansing us from sin. Faith is stressing, faith is strong, faith is pressing, faith along. Faith within us, faith abide, faith redeem us from inside. From inside. The basis or the impetus or the inspiration for today's talk comes from Cora Fillmore. And again, the title of the book that we're using is Christ Enthroned in Man. And really, it was written or put together as a supplement to Charles Fillmore's 12 Powers of Man. And what she offers in her book is various exercises to help apply the principles that are found in the 12 Powers book and awaken undeveloped or sleeping faculties. So that's her book, is to wake up. You know, the 12 Powers says you have those powers. And she said, well, here's some exercises that you can use to awaken them. Now, who was Cora? Cora was Charles Fillmore's second wife, and what happened in 1937, she collected a series of Unity magazine articles that were written between 1925 and 1926, and eventually those writings appeared under the title Christ Enthroned in Man. Now what Cora did is she also took Charles's handwritten letters, his lecture notes, and even some of his informal scribblings, it said, and she compiled two of Charles Fillmore's very familiar books to students of Unity and students of New Thought. One is Keep a True Lent, and the other one is The Atom Smashing Power of Mind. Now, the primary source of the talk today is not just her book, but it is a particular chapter in her book. And I guess you can figure it out by now. It's the faith chapter. The faith chapter. And this is how she opens it up. She says, faith is, faith is. It is an attribute of God. Faith is purely spiritual. It knows nothing less than supreme assurance. Faith is dauntless. It knows no defeat. Faith is the quality of the mind that moves and molds ideas and brings them into concrete expression. Faith is the assurance or confidence of the mind that invisible substance is the source. Invisible substance is the source of visible material things. That's the opening. Puts us on the path of where we're going to go today. She provides us with some parameters to assess really our understanding of the faith principle. and evaluate our application of it in our lives and affairs. See, faith as an attribute of God and being of a spiritual nature, when that's interpreted spiritually, may present itself differently to some or refresh itself with others. See, as a divine attribute, it is something that each of us possess. We each came here with it. Faith, as any other divine possession, is available for development, not for purchase or not for rent, but for development. And that's a very, very important point. And it is also in alignment with the teachings of the master teacher. You see, Jesus taught the development of faith. Jesus taught the development of faith. Now, if you're looking for support of that idea, of that concept, let's start with looking at Matthew and 9:29. Now, what does it say? It says that he touched their eyes, these are the blind men, and said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. He touched their eyes, and then he said, according to your faith, let it be done to you. And then again, we can go to Mark in 5:34, and he says to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. Now, in both cases, what the master teacher did is first thing he did was to raise their consciousness. In the first situation, he touched their eyes. He touched their eyes. In the second case, he said to her. See, after the consciousness was raised, he directed them to the power that Cora speaks of. The indwelling quality of supreme assurance that is dauntless and knows no defeat. It does not seem that Jesus is sending them away with some kind of weak placebo. No, the statements that he gives them, the statements that he uses, the statements that he sends them forth with are statements of strength. In both cases, they're being awakened to a possession that has been activated to a healing level, and then reminded that they can continue strengthening or developing their divine attribute. Let me try it again. They are being sent away, reminded that there is something within them that helps them become aware of their wholeness and completeness, and not only that, that they can go forth with this faith and develop it. It is their attribute, you see. See, the thing about development, any type of development, it requires possession. You see, you have to have it in order to develop it. Or at the minimum, you have to have access to it. So you may develop your land, the land you own, or you may develop the land that someone has given you access to. You see, you have to have access to it or own it in order to develop it. And this faith component, Cora lets us know, is spiritual, right? And it just is. It just is. Now I want to look at another scripture that we probably, many of us, are familiar with. And it's describing and defining faith again. Now this one again is found in Matthew, and actually is 17:20, but before 17:20 there's 17:19. And in 17:19, what happens is that the disciples are coming back into Jesus, to the master teacher, and saying, well, why can't we do this healing? Why can't we heal? And then what the master teacher, what Jesus says, he replies, he says, because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have the faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Wow. Wow. So many ways that can be interpreted, and let's see what we could do with it today. See, there are two aspects of the mustard seed that are being shared in this particular passage. One, of course, is kind of obvious, as small size, small the size of the mustard seed. And then what it can do, what that little mustard seed can do, what that little bit of faith can do. Well, the question becomes, why was this particular seed and plant chosen to use as a teaching tool for something as important, an attribute so powerful as the power of faith? Well, let's just take a moment and let's talk mustard seed. Let's talk mustard plant. Let's talk mustard tree. Let's talk about the potential in it and kind of how it works. You see, the seed has to germinate, and within 30 days after the tree, the seed germinates, a canopy will develop over the mustard tree. Within 35 to 40 days of the germination, the tree, this mustard seed, right, will begin to bud, and that flowering period, that period where it's budding, the flowering period, lasts between 7 and 15 days. We haven't even gotten out 2 months yet from germination. You see, this tiny seed is programmed to produce a plant that grows into a tree with edible leaves and stalks, not even to mention the seeds. So our tiny little seed becomes a tree, offering a nesting place for birds. Now that's pretty much the literal understanding of the mustard seed and its progress in fulfilling its own divine programming. You may be aware, and you should be aware, that all seeds are endowed with a pattern of potentiality. See, an acorn has within it the oak tree potential. What a symbol for faith could the mighty oak provide. But let's go back to the time of Jesus, the time of the master teacher, and take a look at the terrain and take a look at what was available. There were olive trees, there were date, plum, grape, and figs. Those were just some of the common trees in the land of Jesus' ministry. And it was speculated that wood from the dogwood tree was used to construct the cross for crucifixion. Now, there are some choices available, a lot of them you see. But the mustard seed, the tiny mustard seed, and its potentiality was chosen as the symbol for what Cora Fillmore described as the assurance or confidence of the mind that invisible substance is the source of visible material things. And what today's poet defined as faith is stressing, faith is strong, faith is pressing, faith along, faith within us, faith abide, faith redeems us from inside. The tiny mustard seed with the spiritual potential to grow into a mighty tree. Now, as we learn to accept faith as a divine seed that redeems us from inside, instead of something we must obtain from the outside, we learn to harness our faith. And that harnessed inner faith begins to germinate quickly into a trusting faith. And as we develop trust, we began to grow in understanding the work of faith. The mustard seed, an example of the small amount of faith that is required to begin the nurture of faith. And as we nurture faith, we tap into the nature of faith, and the nature of faith is to grow just as the mustard seed grew into the tree, to grow in a rapid manner, not only supporting us through whatever is current in our life, but to grow and become stronger and support new ideas and experiences that we will encounter. You see, we should concern ourselves with our current level of faith. Yes. Not worry about it. Just, we have it. That's all. We have it. We should not be concerned how much. We should not be concerned of needing more. No, instead we should accept that we have faith as a divine gift, and that gift has the potential, I want you to hear me now, that gift has the potential to support all of our desires. That little seed that grows into a tree with leaves and stalks and seeds that are edible to sustain life. It is not more faith that the lesson of the scripture is giving us. It is instead understanding the power of the little faith that awaits within us to expand us, to support us, to provide what we need to move, as Cora said, from the invisible idea into the manifest, visible in our life experience. Our faith is there. Our faith is already there. And once we can turn things around and understand, I already have faith, how do I strengthen it? How do I allow it? How do I cooperate with it? Because it is already with potential. It is pregnant with potential to grow and become stronger, to become just as that little seed becomes the tree, so is my little faith. So those of us that are going around, I don't have enough faith. I have no faith. Look at that person with the faith over there. I wish I had that faith. We have it. Did you hear me say we have it? Because many of us, and I'm one of them, that sometimes gets a little weak in the knees about the faith. Forget sometimes the power of faith that was given to me. Not that I went to Jewel and tried to buy. So one of the tools that we can use to strengthen ourselves through times like the ones we're going through now is to accept the fact that the faith of God, the faith of the universe, the faith that the master teacher taught is already within us. And if we don't have, or if it is not expressing to the level that we want it to express, then we can work to allow it to do so. Yeah. Where do we start? We start within. Cora told us we start within. It's within. It's spiritual. You say, but my Bible and my quotes and those are all to feed what is needed within you to go to work. Wow. Those are used to move the obstacles of your mind, because she said our mind, to move the obstacles of your mind. Remember, Jesus said, go forward. Go be free of sin. It's your faith that made you whole. Those words are there to help move the obstacles in our mind out the way, to allow the faith to grow into the mighty tree from the small seed. Well, today I'm going to give you something a little bit different as I leave you. We're at that time. I want to give you a little exercise, a very simple exercise that I hope will help you. If you have mustard seeds at home in your cabinet, then fine. If you do not, it's okay. See, a mustard seed is so small, you just make a little dot on a piece of paper, and you have about the size of a mustard seed. But if you have a mustard seed, get yourself a piece of paper, a piece of tape, Scotch tape. You might want to put a little piece of paper behind it. But what I want you to do is to take that seed, and I want you to tape that seed onto a little piece of paper, or make a dot on a piece of paper. Then I want you to tape that onto a mirror somewhere, something that you see every day, something that if you're working on your computer screen, wherever you need, because it's a really small thing, and tape it there. Tape it there. It's a real simple exercise. And once you do that, you tape it there, what will happen is this, that you'll see it on a regular basis, and you're saying, well, what am I supposed to do with it? Am I supposed to say, there's my faith? No, just leave it there. Just know that it's there, that it's there. And when those situations come up, when we are challenged, and our faith seems to be a little weak or wavery like Peter, we're looking outside for faith. When that happens, ask yourself, where is my faith? You see, just ask yourself, where is it my faith? Is my faith taped to that mirror, the mustard seed, or is my faith within me? Is my faith taped to that computer screen? Is that my faith, or is my faith within me? And as you continue to go through this practice, and you continue to answer, it's within, it's within, it's within. At some point, the subconscious mind will grab hold of that and say, hey, the faith is inside. Let's work it. Very, very simple exercise that anyone can do. So if you feel, well, I need to get a little stronger in my faith, try that exercise and see how it works for you. I want to thank you so much for being a part of today's celebration, Unity of Chicago South celebration. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate your participation. You know that you can go to our website if you want to support our ministry. There are ways that you can support it through the Gifty app, which you can use a credit card and so forth to do so. So if you like to support us, if you like what you see, work with us. And as I said, go to our website, unityocs.org. In addition to that, I want to say to each and every one of you that if you can remember this, you are on your way to where you need to be. To know that as you see life, so life becomes. I bid you all namaste.